Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids.
Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this, the 90th reply to comments video. We've been the big 9-0. We've made it. Now, these videos I make them because I don't have time to reply by text to the various comments I get. But because I'm a popular channel, I get lots of comments, you see. But I feel obliged to reply, especially because some of the comments are very thoughtful, very asking me direct questions, appreciative, things like that. And so that's why I make these videos. Now, you might think, well, okay, you want to reply to a comment, so you're making a 9-hour video to do it. I'm not going to watch that to get a reply to your comment. Well, you don't have to, because underneath the comments I'm replying to you, I'll give you a timestamp. I'll post it as a reply to your comment, telling you exactly when, to the nearest hour, I'll be replying to you. And what's more, these reply to comments videos, they're not 9 hours anymore. They used to be, but they're now much shorter because I do them more often. Actually, I do them every 2 weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the number of uploads. So no, you don't have to watch 9 hours anymore. You just and so they're a lot shorter. And so another reason I do these videos is because I enjoy doing them. I enjoy it. It's fun. I think they're good videos, most of them. They're good to do. And what's more, you, the viewers, you enjoy them too. I know a lot of you read them, you watch them all the way through. So that is why I do them. So that's right. Anyway, so with no further ado, let's just. Oh, I haven't started the timer. I better do that now. There we go. Okay. And so I'll proceed immediately to the last comment that was left from when I posted the last comments reply video. The last comment that was left after I stopped replying to comments on the last comments reply video. So, Hugo Rune says on reply to comments 89, looking forward to this. Thanks, Ben. You're welcome, Hugo. I hope you do enjoy it. Good old Hugo Rune. Same video, Hugo Rune. I just noticed how long this video is. I'm game. Yeah. Dark Corners says 2 hours, 45 minutes. Yes, please. Dark Corners UK. Yeah. As I said, they're not 9 hours any longer. Christy Morland said, brilliant. Looking forward to this on the same video. Thank you, Christy. That's great. And Hugo says, you and Jam Noise, please, both very welcome. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Jam Noise about this, and maybe we could do that, Hugo, when the weather's nicer. You know, we could maybe come up and see you. Same video, Dark Corners UK. Reply to comments 89. Excuse me. Hey Ben, says Dark Corners. I had a dream last night that Joe Biden came to my front door for a photo opportunity, and I was able to convince him to wear a MAGA hat in the photo. I woke up laughing. I would too, Dark Corners. I mean, that's great. I mean, what really annoys me about dreams, it really does, is right. A lot of them, most of them, I can't remember. I mean, I had some interesting ones last night, and I was waking up, and I can remember just like one little bit. I remember I had to go on a bus journey, and I remember that one little bit, but all the rest of it is just sort of like really difficult to get hold of in my mind. I can see little snapshots of it, and it just fades away. And I remember it was a very long, interesting dream with a lot of detail, and that's most of them are like that. I mean, there's a few I do remember. Very well, and they stick with me. But most of them I don't. I don't remember. Yeah, but that would be one I would want to remember. Yes. Yeah, oh, sort of. What hat is this? Oh, dearie me, Kamala. Oh, should I take this photo or not? Oh, all right, I don't mind. Oh. Alan McBride says, can't beat a wake-up laughing dream. Ha, a great way to start the day. It bloody is, isn't it? Oh, we have Gary Robinson. Oh, hang on, there's just a thread here. Starts with Dark Corners UK. Hey, Gary Robinson. I'm atting him. Well, what was that? Hang on. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit confusing. Oh, this thread is for some reason here twice. Alright. For some reason, this same thread is like twice. Is like in there twice. Alright, and I'll put 2 replies. That's strange. I don't know how that works. But anyway, hang on. Hi, Gary Robinson, says Dark Corners UK. Continuing on from your Hollywood woke watch, excuse me. Did you hear the latest news about Marvel Disney's The Fantastic Four movie, where in Sue Storm, a strong and powerful woman, Sue Storm, is being pegged to replace Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, as leader of the superhero team, and Reed Richards, the former leader, is to be relegated to a comedy sidekick position where he follows her around like a lovesick puppy. Oh dear. I mean, Dark Corners, I don't know these films that you're referring to because I've never watched any of them. The last decent comic book adaptation, I think, was Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movies. They were very good, but they all went down after that. But that's kind of like, well, I mean, it's a familiar template actually, where a former hero is either killed in the first scene of the remake, or they are say relegated. They're reduced to a supporting actor a supporting character who's just sort of like a fraction of their former self. Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, for example. Dark Horse continues. A similar thing is also happening over at Warner Brothers with James Gunn's Superman movie, where the titular character is allegedly being nerfed by the powers that be, so that Lois Lane can have a more prominent role in the movie and will even come in at the end of the movie and save the day, according to a recent statement from Lois's actress. Oh, God. And Blogger says underneath, Blogger526, isn't Hollywood just recreating in the movie exactly what is happening in the current Fantastic Four comic series with Sue Storm? Staying accurate to the original comic takes priority over any film adaptations, IMHO. Well, you see, they don't stay accurate to anything. That's the whole point. It's deliberate iconoclasm. You see what I mean? And Dark Corner's just a blogger. I believe this is true, although altogether I'm not reading the current Marvel. Gary Robinson says here, I don't know about the Fantastic Four movie, but it doesn't surprise me. Did you hear the news about the new woke Star Wars Rey movie? Oh, God. It's been shelved for now, as Stephen Knight's script was torn apart so badly by Lucasfilm that he's had to step away from the project, as he's now busy with his Peaky Blinders movie. God, I bet he sighed. Any excuse will do, Gary. Yes, I'm sure he was very relieved to find that one. This means that the Rey movie has lost its slot at Pinewood Studios, so Disney have replaced it with a Mandalorian movie in order to use the time they've booked at Pinewood. This is great for the fight against woke, of course. However, it does mean that those of us who pay for Disney Plus in order to watch the Mandalorian will now have to pay to watch the finale with the forthcoming series in the theatre. I find that to be somewhat of a grift. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I would never sub to these things. I never would. I never would. Oh, anyway. But anyway, and now for some reason, this thread was produced twice. On the same. For some reason, it was on the same list. It's for some reason just twice on the list. I don't know why that is. Anyway, reply to comments 89. How have you got a rainbow going through your bedroom? Says Woody Black. Well, Woody, it seems I can see it now. It's sort of, was it there? No, it's not there now. It was sort of like over over that side. It was sort of like in the air above my bed. That's actually an effect of the camera lens on the webcam. I don't know. Strange that, isn't it? Oh, Roy Bland is here. Fact. Oh, here we go. Reply to comments 89. I love it when people say fact and then they just make a statement. That was a template that was sort of like came from, I think it was Philadelphia, the film Philadelphia, and it sort of caught on. Mary Steenburgen, remember the the defence counsel. Fact. Oh yeah. Anyway, Roy Bland says on reply to comment 89, the person the message was intended for is always makes the call and always speaks to another human for the entirety of the call for good reasons. The guy received the call, a voicemail, and it was a synthetic voice. That alone proves it's a hoax. That would be the end of the discussion for anyone who knows about this stuff. Forget all the other red flags I've given. That one fact is enough. There are many other experts you could contact, but all will tell you instantly it's a hoax and a very poor one. The worst ever, I'd bet. All right. Firstly, intended for the person. Firstly, no one made no. Ty did not. He's talking about the Twitter voicemail here. Ty didn't make the call. He received a voicemail from an unlisted number. That's it. And it was a synthetic voice. That does not prove it's a hoax. I don't see why that should prove it's a hoax. And saying that would be the end of the discussion for anyone who knows about this stuff. Oh, why don't you say, well, you don't know about this stuff, Ben, which is why you're tiresomely carrying it on. And that's demeaning, Roy, it really is. And forget all the other obvious red flags. I've given that one fact is enough. Well, I am not going to forget the red flags, Roy. The ones that I've mentioned. I mean, I have given you a reply. I've explained to you why I think this is not a hoax. I think it doesn't quite fit. Excuse me. Roy says, there are many other experts you could contact, but all will tell you instantly it's a hoax, and a very poor one. The worst ever, I'd bet. Right, well, I think it's just there are many other experts you could contact. This is I always get this. It's like this person I debated Brexit with. You know, everyone who voted Leave is stupid. So I said, oh well, that's an insult. And she also said, if you run a business, you'd understand this. And I said, okay, well, if I had run a business, what would you say to someone who had run a business and voted Leave? And she said, oh, that would never happen. That would never happen. So everyone who's qualified to disagree with me never would disagree with me. Therefore, my position is ring-fenced from criticism. That's very convenient. Anyway, Roy, you haven't actually addressed the points I made regarding Ty. His personality profile, his social circles and things like that, which really lead it this unlikely to be a hoax. I believe it's some kind of mistake. But not a hoax. This was obviously a message intended for somebody. It's for somehow through some process it was sent to him by mistake. Maybe it was a decoding of the phone number. Maybe the phone number was encrypted and decoded wrong, something like that. Gary Robinson says on reply to comments 89, evening men, Ben, evening mate, pride and dignity. Pride and dignity to you, Gary. Hope you're all right. I've sent Gary. As some of you know, if you read HPANWO Voice, I went to the Royal Courts of Justice on Monday because Richard D. Hall was in court. And if you are interested, you can go to HPANWO Voice and read my little report of the hearing, which is like a preliminary hearing before the trial. Reply comments 89. Gary Robinson. Funny you should mention Cat Slater from EastEnders, because the first ever time I had some music featured on TV was a scene in EastEnders in 1999, where they played one of my early drum and bass tunes in a club where Cat was asking her mate to dance, and she replied, no, the music's awful. Oh. To which Cat Slater stated, not if you're drunk, cheers. Oh, really? Oh. I see, Gary, you created some like incidental music for the series, and just to be used in that scene. And the purpose was for the characters to say, oh no, the music's awful, and Cat says, not if you're drunk. So it's nice, it's music you can listen to if you're drunk, but not otherwise. Well, that's, oh dear, that's a bit. Well, hopefully Gary, that's something for your CV. You could say experience. Wrote a tune for EastEnders that the characters hated. Yeah. Anyway, Alan McBride says, cheers, Ben, for the lovely show, on reply to comments 89. You're welcome, Alan. You're very, very welcome. We have an old one now. We got a psychedelic lecture in Oxford. I can't even remember when I did this video. Someone called Drubber, it's a good name, Drubber, said, conspiracy theory belief. Jesus! This stuff will wake your ass right up. 100% fluoride is added to our water to calcify the pineal gland. You should get a distiller, the only way to remove it. Enjoyed this, Ben. I came across you on a Richard D. Hall video and then found you here and BC. And BC, I don't know what that means. I've been using psychedelics since I was 14. I'm now 46, mainly LSD and psilocybin. I regularly take what McKenna referred to as heroic doses, 5 grams. I've seen functioning alien worlds that I could never describe using our vocabulary. Oh, well, thanks, Drubber. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, it was an interesting talk. I remember. Yeah, it was interesting. I can't remember the name of the lecturer. Anyway, yeah. But anyway, it sounds. It's good to talk to a psychonaut. You should do something Niall Murphy through an opaque lens. I think you'd like that. Oxford Graffiti 6. Angela Kenyon says, fascinating artwork. Some very talented people sharing their art. Thank you, Ben. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Angela. Glad you enjoyed that. I like the old graffiti videos, yeah. Right. Oh, now we have another reply to conversation. Another Gary Robinson. Hey Ben, you mentioned Kat Slater. Oh, in regards to why she doesn't seek film roles as opposed to appearing in the absolute trash that is EastEnders. Yeah. Yeah, I did wonder. What tends to happen with actors is they spend many years getting absolutely no work. For the lucky few who eventually land a well-paid role in a soap opera, their reputation is for the most part, is then tainted, so serious directors and producers are not likely to touch them. This also creates a scenario where their agents will only focus on landing them similar cheesy roles in the future, as they know they've been tainted by the soap opera work, and it's therefore completely pointless pitching them to serious films or serial drama. Interestingly enough, this was the storyline of the Extra Christmas special from around 10 years ago, in which Ricky Gervais's character is ghosted by his agent because he tries to make him move from sitcom to film drama. Cheers. Well, yeah, I mean, look, some actors did have that problem. I mean, there was Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner of Star Trek. They found it difficult to land other jobs when they after Star Trek finished. Um, they had a lot of trouble finding other roles. I mean, William Shatner did this thing. He played a policeman in this series called T.J. Hooker. I remember that was quite good because they've been role cast into that position. And it's strange. You don't actually see many actors and actresses who were on the soap circuit then end up as serious movie actors in this country anyway. The exception is Australia, because all the actors in Australia do the soap circuit before they end up in cinema, because they seem to have far fewer of them. They only have, I mean, there's a joke they only have like a couple of dozen actors in the entire country, and that's slightly overstating it, but you do tend to see the same faces in all the movies and TV programs there. So yeah, I mean, a lot of them go back to soaps. I mean, I remember there was yeah, there was the guy there was that lady who was in, because we did a review of it, didn't we? Picnic at Hanging Rock. She was like in these early soap operas, Sons and Daughters. Then she went, well, that was her name. Then she went in and did that movie. She did a couple of other movies. Then she went on to be in Neighbours. I remember in the 80s she joined Neighbours. Can't remember what's the name of the actress. I can't remember. Oh, Erin Gray. Erin Gray. That was it. The exception in Australia being Paul Hogan, who really came from nowhere to be in Crocodile Dundee. Well, I just want to look it up. Actually, I want to just find out about this. Paul Hogan, Australian actor and comedian. Let's just see exactly what his role was, or how he started things out. Right, let's have a look at his TV. Logan, let's have a look. Tax problems, I don't know. Here we go. Right, acting. The Paul Hogan Show. Fatty Finn delivering Anzacs. In 1985 he was in Anzacs. Then he was Crocodile Dundee. So he was the Paul Hogan Show was 1973 to 84, where he was like a sketch series, playing different characters. Fatty Finn was an Australian film. Then he was in Crocodile Dundee. So yeah, it really does look like, strangely enough, he was never a soap actor, which is very unusual in Australia. Very unusual indeed. Yeah. I always remember a good film to watch. Actually, is one. It was called the Real Blonde, where it's centered around a group of young people who are aspiring actors, and Matthew Modine plays this guy, and he goes up to his agent and he says, "I don't want to do soap operas," and she gets really angry with him. What's the name of the actress who plays? I can't remember the name of the actress who plays this obnoxious agent, but she gets really angry with him and says, "Get out of here," you know. Okay, Gary Robinson again on the same video. In regards to the UFO tune by Photech, I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't have bothered clearing the samples of Colonel Holt's dialogue. Back in the 90s, drum and bass jungle music was full of samples for which the artist had not got the permission to use. UFO was released on the Metalheads, which was at the time quite a prestigious label. I actually worked for them as a web developer for a while. The label was launched and owned by Goldie, of course, so good luck to Colonel Holt if he wants to bring it up with a I wouldn't advise. I would advise him to leave it alone. Cheers. Yeah, I think Colonel Holt's Colonel Holt has actually never has only ever once subjected to that tape of his being used in commercially, and that was for Cable Green. He's actually stated quite clearly, So what's happened is that Dion and the production team at Cable Green have had to create a facsimile. They've actually had to get an actor who sounds as much like Holt as possible to re-record the entire tape with all the sound effects, to make it sound authentic. I've not actually heard their recording, but I'm told it sounds almost exactly like the original. And the reason is, of course, because the film itself, the film Cable Green, actually contradicts the official story, so we say. And we have here Philip MK Ultra Sun Project. That's a good name. DOE PSA for some 144 T472. I don't know what that means. The King Mad Chester is now known, and not even Dynamo can kill him. Look for the MIB of 322 in Davenport's Oz. I am Patience number 9. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Reply to comments. Oxford. This is Oxford Graffiti 6. Israel Diego Rivera, genius to the real genius, says, I prefer John Constable's The Haywain. Yeah, The Haywain's lovely, isn't it? It's like a lovely scene from a rural English utopia. There's been a big celebration because it's just past 200 years since it was painted. Funnily enough, if you can go to the spot where it was painted, it's on the Norfolk-Suffolk border. And you can see the old mill and everything that's still there. The river, though, you can see the river's totally changed. It's much narrower and deeper than it was in that painting. So, it's just goes to waterways do change. Same video, Dark Corners UK says, you can't beat a spot of non-conformist folk art. Exactly, Dark Corners, that's true. And now we have reply to comments 89 again. Hey, Ben mate, says Gary Robinson. The reason that the character of Mutt Williams was not featured in the 5th Indiana Jones movie was because the actor went on a weird bender. Shia LaBeouf, yes he did, after the 4th movie was released, in which he spoke to the press about how he thought Indy 4 was rubbish. As a result, he was shadow banned by Hollywood for insulting Lucas and Spielberg. George had originally planned for him to take over from Indy, which is why the hat blows towards him at the end of the 4th movie. Cheers. Yeah, that was a shame. I mean, Shia LaBeouf is a bit of an odd character. I remember. He was a bit of a wokey for a while. I can't remember. He said some things about white men and stuff like this, and then I heard that he got into trouble. I didn't know the details until you told me. I didn't think Indy 4 was rubbish. I mean, I know a lot of people do. I thought Indy 4 was brilliant. And I got the feeling that this was a kind of handover moment, as Indy was younger there than he was in the 5th Indy 5 is set a whole decade later, in which Indy's now pretty old. But I did think that what would happen, it would be slightly different. I thought if there was an Indy 5, it would be Mutt, his son, basically taking on that role. And Indy, of course, was this old guy in the late 60s, and I thought he would probably play a role in it, but he'd be a secondary role or a supporting role, a bit like Sean Connery did in The Last Crusade. And I thought that Indy would take. I predicted that Indy would probably end up being like Sean Connery in The Last Crusade. I thought that would be Indy, and then Mutt would be the Indiana Jones character. That I think would have been a good film. Now, I didn't realise that was the reason they did it. I mean, technically, they could have simply hired another actor to play him. I mean, they could have done that. I mean, obviously they may have been angry and decided just to eliminate the character altogether, just to spite him. But I think that is a great shame. I mean, Indy 5, to just do away with the character so heartlessly. Oh, he died in Vietnam, There's old Indy sitting on this underground train, looking heartbroken and everything. That's a horrible fate, It's a horrible kind of shriveling, wilting ending to a wonderful character. He's a guy. You can't imagine the Indy of the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This This very sort of uber manly, likable, funny, strong, sort of very very intelligent masculine character fading away like that. I think that's horrible, and it happens all too often in modern cinema. Yeah, but thanks for the information. I didn't know that. Oxford Graffiti 6, David's Splendid Isolation. Technically, this is criminal damage, but it's a victimless crime, much like cannabis use. Exactly. I mean, only in the modern world could somebody like call this bloody criminal. I mean, brightening up our streets, and the police will come out. And I swear, the police will come out and they'll catch these people before they go to attend a burglary or even a robbery. But it's like crop circles. That's criminal damage as well. Although a farmer who knows what he's doing can more than make up compensating money. By letting people tour by letting people tour his field and things like that, and paying a small entrance fee. It's and what's more, a lot of it is licensed. I mean, the council actually has a licensing system. I actually wrote to them and said how much I like all this. And they do. So the ones I showed you, most of the ones I showed you on the communications terminals, they are actually licensed. They've got permission. Popcorn Boxing says in Oxford Graffiti 6, the fog and field looks great. Yeah, they did. I'm glad I caught that. I mean, I tend to put these little things into the graffiti videos, like the picture of the deer and things like that. And it was so lovely. It's that hasn't returned since that day. Reply to comments 89, Retro Darren says, re-asylum seekers. I have a theory. The commander of NATO has stated that it's likely Europe will go to war with Russia within the next 20 years. Army recruitment is officially at an all-time low in the UK and USA. Do you think that these fighting-age men are being allowed into the US, UK, Europe to swell the man numbers for an upcoming draft when it all kicks off? That's a good point. In fact, at Morgoth's review, I've just been watching his latest video on conscription. It's based on an article he put on his Substack. And he kind of suggests this because, whenever war breaks out and they institute a wartime draft, they then go to the white working class and said, "Will you go and fight for us? Will you go and fight your European brothers for our geopolitical agenda?" Now, in the 20th century, they could have got away with that. And now, of course, it's nonsense. I mean, everyone's just turning to them. I mean, you can see the comments under the news articles. As I said myself, what Russian ever called me a racist? What Russian ever said I was a substandard citizen because of the colour of my skin? What Russian ever said, we're going to open our borders and destroy our country by just filling it with foreigners? And then we're supposed to go and fight them? It's like, as Muhammad Ali said, put me in jail. But, as Morgoth said, there's this service guarantee citizenship thing. They won't be able to use the white working class to fight this war, but they will go to foreign fields and pick up recruits there. There's plenty of people in the third world who will act as mercenaries for the West in any war they fight. And of course, with Russia, it'll be. I don't. A direct war with Russia, how's that possible without destroying the world? I mean, it could so easily go nuclear, and when we all die. So I don't think there will be a direct war with Russia. I think there may be a proxy war like we've seen in Ukraine. There may be more of those, maybe in Finland. It's possible Russia will invade Finland at some point. Things like that. I mean, as I said, I'm not anti-Russian. I actually, if anything, I'm on Russia's side in this because I think they have been forced into this position by globalists using NATO. NATO is a dinosaur of the Cold War. It was never supposed to last. The Warsaw Pact broke down the moment all those nations, those Soviet-aligned nations fell. So why do we still have NATO? Anyway, video ban 7, Dark Corners UK first. Yes, well done, Dark Corners UK. Gold tinfoil hat is on its way to you. And then Popcorn Boxing says second. Well done, Popcorn Boxing. Silver tinfoil hat is on its way to you. In fact, they're all silver, aren't they? Video band 7. Hey, Hugo Rune says, hey, Ben and all. Skinning up while I watch this. Oh, why doesn't that surprise me, Hugo? And Cole Costello says, if you have a spare one, Hugo, I'd be very grateful. Hugo has about 700 in his tin, so I'm sure he could plop one your way. Crafty Nana says, tune! Alright. Crafty likes the theme music, which I created myself to avoid copyright strikes. It's kind of a joke. And Gary said, someone call for the rewind. When I started doing these kinds of videos, I created my own music because the original ones were for like what I thought was pointless copyright strikes. And as I've said before, the copyright rules on Facebook are generally used by people with ulterior motives. Like you'll get a troll will sometimes flag a video for a snatch of music or something. And very, very few copyright issues on YouTube are of any seriousness. Most are either non-existent or they are so petty as to be inconsequential. Hey, we got Not My Rabbit Hole with Terry Joyce. Terry, how are you, darling? Not My Rabbit, how are you, darling? She says here, so disappointed YouTube. They use their community guidelines to censor and not protect us from real harassment or hate speech on YouTube. Yeah, actually, I've watched your latest videos, Terry, and I recommend people go and watch your channel because you yourself have undergone some real harassment. Yeah, and of course you're not a big ugly ex-hospital porter like me. You're a woman who lives on her own. And when someone's making voodoo dolls and things, that's creepy beyond belief. Yeah, but I mean, I saw you reported them, and I wish you luck with that, Terry. I really do. Reply to comments video 7. Gary Robinson says, JamNoise72 uploaded a new video earlier, and for whatever reason, I wasn't able to click the like button. What I mean by that is when I click it on her video, nothing happens. Gary, it's a bug. I mean, that's happened a couple of times to me. What's more, I know you've had some problem with comments as well, which is really annoying. Commenting on my channel. I mean, several people have. I have checked the spam folder before I began this video. But it's just really, it's really annoying that a platform on the scale and with the resources of YouTube, and they get these silly little bugs. I mean, you'd expect it on BitChute or Odyssey. They're doing their best with the resources they have. But the fucking bastards on YouTube, you think they'd do better, wouldn't you? Martin Flynn says, I experience exactly the same thing. These days I have to ask people if they can actually see my comment too, as most of them seem to disappear. I'm able to see them, but most of the others cannot. Yeah, Marty, a lot of people complain about this, Martin Flynn. A lot of people complain about this. Gary's just had a comments he can't even see. He's had to put them on BitChute because they won't appear on YouTube. And I checked my spam folder and they're not there. Now, Steve Mumbling, very ungenerously, used to use this as an excuse to pretend I was deleting his comments, which wasn't true. Yeah. I don't know what to do, except I've reported some problems with them and they haven't said anything. Excuse me. Wayne Model Builder says on reply to comments 7. Sorry, on band 7, video band 7. Loving your style, Ben. Are those bed restraints on your headboard? No, there's like a flag there. And there's Bungle, of course, you can see. Alright, so video band 7. Gary Robbins says, safe and effective. 3 weeks to flatten the curve. Died after a short illness. 1 pack of bog roll per zombie sheeple. Oh, Gary. These little catchphrases will go down in the infamy of history, like ration books and air raid sirens and people like that for the generation who had to endure the Blitz. Yeah. Video band 7, Gary. All this endless talk of communities and safety is very dystopian. Yeah, you notice they always talk about community and safety. It's like they always talk about the needs of what is it? Democracy. Threat to democracy is another thing you got to watch out for. They have all their little buzzwords, which you get to spot after a while. And to be honest, it's like it's rather like it's like in East Germany. People used to say that the press in East Germany was notoriously bad, even by like the communist standards in the Cold War. Excuse me. And people always used to read between the lines of every article, and some people became very good at working out what was really going on because of what the journalists didn't say, not what they said. And we've become the same with our media, you know. Woody Black says on Video Band 7, rainbow in the bedroom. Ben, are you a Care Bear? It's not doing it today for some reason. Maybe it only happens on StreamYard. I don't know. It's not. But there's like sometimes there's a rainbow on usually on this side of the field of the frame, because it's just to do with the angle of the lens, and it's like a lens effect. And are you a Care Bear? Cole Costello says, brilliant. What would his name be? Neil says, Bungle, the albino Bungle. Bungle is on my headboard. Do you see him? Do you see his face on my headboard? And we have Video Band 7. Philip MK Ultra Sun Project says lighthouses in Pembrokeshire. Yeah, there are lighthouses there. Yeah, what did you bring that up for? I mean, there was a lighthouse in. Yeah, does that come up? Because we did. Of course, I went to a lighthouse, didn't I? On New Year's Day with Neil Peel. Neil actually says this here. I guess they'd better ban the New Year. I bet he says here. I guess they'd better ban the New Year's Day video. Excuse me. Going up Portland Lighthouse, talking about vertigo, as that was the wrong as that was a wrong medical diagnosis. Gary, excuse me. As that was a wrong medical diagnosis, Gary corrected you in the comments on that, so perhaps they saw that more leniently. Oh God! Oh yeah. He was talking all about vertigo and what it was, and the fact that I suffered from it. Yeah, that's right. It's I mean, I can't actually remember how this relates to this particular video, but yeah, I was talking about vertigo, and is that medical misinformation? Yeah. Right, Video Band 7. Oh, Keith Smith. Oh, right. Now, this is interesting. He says, well, Ben, you do promote Simon and Miles's nonsense, referring to Simon Parkes and Miles Johnston. Now, this particular video has triggered a load of trolls, I'll tell you. It's triggered a lot of my detractors. I've seen faces and names that I haven't seen for ages of popping out the woodwork. The same with a recent HPANWO voice video called Fake Stats, where I refer to what I believe is my shadow banning on Blogger from the HPANWO voice and other articles I have on Blogger. So yeah, but so Keith Smith, do you mean that if I say something that Simon Parkes or Miles Johnston has said and promote that as real, in other words, say I agree with them, do you think that justifies removing the video? Because, I mean, you wouldn't be the first person to say, well, I think it's silly, so the video should just be banned. You wouldn't be the first person to say this. You wouldn't be the first person to have such contempt for free speech that you think just because you agree with something, just because you disagree with something, that is justification. That is justification for censorship. Honestly, there are literally people who are now specific. They literally want the New World Order. They literally want to live in a world with a government, a completely tyrannical government, in which they have no civil rights at all, which will pander to their needs in every single way for the next 6 weeks. And they're going to throw away everything just for that. They're literally people who do that, and I know them because they comment on my channel. That's literally what they believe. I don't know if you're one, Keith. I hope not. But no, yes, I do promote Simon and Miles's what you call nonsense. I think it's not nonsense all the time. I don't agree with everything they say. And what's wrong with that? Why don't you explain to me why I'm wrong? Why don't you just do that? Alright, Philip MK Ultra Sun Project says here. My name is Philip John Davenport. Alright, that name rings a bell. I live at flat number 8. Right, where's that? Not where I live, because it's not here. There are only 3 flats in my block. Anyway, I would like to tell you a lot more because it seems Miles and Kerry Cassidy are both talking about me, but unfortunately I signed the Official Secrecy Act when I was 15. Oh, yes. Philip John Davenport, that's right. So that's you, is it, Philip? Philip MK Ultra Sun Project. Right, I did watch a little bit of the video. I'll go back and watch some more. I signed the Official Secrecy Act when I was 15. Right. Can you sign the Official Secrets Act at 15? At that age? Alright, anyway, I'll carry on. The police keep raiding my house, taking all my papers, calculations and art. I am the Manchester King graffiti artist Dynamo was trying to kill, but his magic didn't work on me. Oh, good, I'm glad to hear it. I am immune to 5 million people charging the sigil. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Philip. I'm afraid I don't know much about what you're talking about because I haven't watched those videos in detail, but I do know who you are now. I know Miles has mentioned you, and Kerry as well. Video Band 7. Tor Engen says, funny one. One Japanese got copyright infringement on one YouTube and was banned in different countries. The ban was relating to eating one type of fish, so YouTube consider copyright on fish. Tor, YouTube are complete. They are making these life and death decisions with life and death of a channel or a video on for almost no reason at all, through complete misunderstandings, through words in titles. Oh, look at my Jews video. Banned for hate speech. A video debunking anti-Semitism. Banned for anti-Semitism. You see what I mean? This is why I think, since they're so insistent on committing censorship and practicing moderation on their platform, they're gonna carpet bomb lots of innocent people as well. They don't care. They don't care. It's bloody awful. Anyway, right. Oxford Graffiti 6. Gary Robinson. Hey Ben, this is completely off topic, as usual. That's alright. However, I'm watching the new series of True Detective, and the storyline seems to be at least semi-inspired by the Dyatlov Pass incident. Alright. The series of the show is set in Alaska, and it starts with a remote science and research centre in the middle of nowhere. One night, a delivery driver finds the place empty and can't locate the scientists. A few days later, the police find them out in the snow in very strange circumstances, if you know what I mean. It's all very reminiscent of accounts of how the Dyatlov Pass incident were found. There's also a scene where the ghost of a man leads one of the characters to the victims' bodies in the snow, and there's another scene in which Jodie Foster's character, who is the detective, tells her colleagues that no Yetis were involved. So I'm guessing the writer is definitely into a bit of woo-woo. Cheers. All right, True Detective. Where have I heard that before? True Detective. True Detective, American TV series. It's an anthology crime drama created by Nick Pizzolatto, another bloody Scotsman. All right. Oh, I thought a trailer for that the other day. Woody Harrelson was in it, yeah. All right. I've never seen it. I've never ever seen it. Right. Oh, it's got Mahershala Ali, the guy who was in Leave the World Behind, White Male Scum. He's in it as well. Right. Okay. Thanks very much. That looks quite good. Maybe I'll check that out. And Gary adds here, I think it's also worth adding that this show has been attacked by the anti-woke crowd, as this is the first series that's been led by an all-female cast, with the men relegated to supporting roles. Yeah, and obviously they got Mahershala Ali. Oh dear. I've no doubt this is the result of the producers being under the influence of DEI. But at the same time, the show doesn't come across as being woke. That being said, the first episode features 2 scenes of intimacy in which the women take the role of the man in the situation, if you know what I mean. I have to say this was quite disturbing and definitely part of the woke agenda. Right. Gary, I think I might give it a miss, despite what you just said. Video Band 7. Straw Person. Hello, Straw Person. How are you? Richie Allen mentioned this very scenario recently about the massive overreach on people. It's interesting to see that misinformation is now called malinformation. Oh God, is it? Is that the latest buzzword from the Newspeak dictionary? This big brother censorship is only going to get worse. It will affect everyone, not just independent news channels. By the way, where's Jessica Hyde? Utopia was chilling and very dark, but I bet there's a lot of truth in the storyline. Marky boy. Oh, right. Yeah, I hadn't seen. I don't watch Richie Allen every day, but it doesn't surprise me they're coming up with new words. Malinformation. Where is Jessica Hyde? Yes, Utopia. I mean, I've done an entire review of Utopia, Straw Person. It's on HPANWO Voice. And I also reviewed the 2013 Channel 4 version, which is much better. But yeah, stay alive, Jessica Hyde. It's really, it is a dark and very, very grim series, but it's fascinating. I think it's a fascinating idea, and as you say, truth and storyline, a bit too close to life. And as well as you know, Straw Person, because you've watched this video, or was it this video, one of the others, where I show you the trigger warning you get at the beginning of every episode. Right, Red Joan film review. Oh, this is an old one. And it's I've got someone speaking French. Même dans ce film à la Julie, et pique le monteur de la vision. Alright, let me just get a translate out. You can't do that automatically on YouTube. I did learn French at school, but that was a long time ago. Okay, this is someone called mange tout. Mangeutard. I don't know what that means. It's some sort of vegetable, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Is it French? Hang on. French. English. Even in this film, Julie, she steals the mink coat from the girl. Oh right, I didn't notice that. So, Mangeutard. And then the same person says here, "C'est un super film." I know what that means. It's a good film. It's a super film. Oh, and I've just gone and I forgot to put the tag back on my clipboard, which I'll do now. I knew I would do that. Okay, so, all right. So it is a super. I thought it was quite a good film. Not bad. I think it was. Funny enough, there's only a limited amount of information on the real Melita Norwood. I mean, funny enough, I watched a documentary the other day about this lady who was. Where's the details of it? See if I don't know if I can find it in my history. Right, here we go. Is this it? Yes, it is. This is the female spy who stole the atom bomb thriller documentary. Yeah, I watched this. This actually is about a spy ring set up by this lady who I can't remember her name. Burton. It was Ursula Kaczynski, known as Ursula Burton. Was running an entire spy ring that included Melita Norwood. As you can see, this is the video you want to see.
As a Jewish, this woman, born despite her commitment, the decision.
And it just talks about her life and everything.
Become estranged.
At that input.
Garden went to Sonia's countryside home along with a colleague and a police detective.
This is interesting. Sonia was her nickname. Her nickname was Sonia. Sorry, her code name was Agent Sonia. And funny enough, like, she lived in Oxford. And it's really weird. She also lived in Great Rollright, which is a lovely little village, actually, where the Rollright Stones are. It's this lovely, this old Neolithic site. And she lived in this little cottage in Great Rollright for a while. Funny enough, she had when she lived somewhere in North Oxford, she had she was sending radio messages to the Soviet Union. She had this big aerial sticking out the roof of her house, and no one noticed. I think probably she was being run as a double agent, and she was sending Morse code messages to the Soviet Union, and it was being done deliberately. They probably let her get away with it because they wanted to spread disinformation. Because apparently this was in World War II, and before the Cold War, and they were allies then. All right, so Hugo Roon says, Ben and Jam Noise, please come and visit. Hugo, we will come and see you, definitely. I've got to see you, definitely. Oh, we haven't here. The Basis Project 2023 Christmas Seminars. All right. I enjoyed it. It was a lovely time, this was. Tor Engen says, I remember one travel by train in Korea. I entered the train carriage, and though I was in first class with big chairs and lots of space, but it was only third class. Oh, right. I thought I was in first class. Oh, right. Our Korean train's very nice. I assume this is South Korea, not North. But thanks, yeah, it's interesting talk, England. Yeah, I've never been to Korea, but I'm being curious to go. Reply to comments 89. We have Coda 834 who says here, yeah, we got a bit of unwinnies again. Ben Loader, have you ever considered to spout it a beardly most just like Corbly Jerrymole there? All bushit and birdly hatchings like the twit loaders from a Darley Roads bookie novelode for the childers. Would suit you, sir, and being even more pridely dignifold on jollity most physgog. Oh yes, right. No, this is. I'll try and decode this unwinese or to translate it. Ben, have you ever considered to grow a beard like Jeremy Corbyn? All bushy and bird nesting, like the from a Darley Roads bookie. Darley Roads bookie novel for the children. Would suit you, being even more pride and dignified on jollity. I don't know what the last bit means. A beard. I did grow a beard once. Yeah, it didn't look like Jeremy Corbyn. I'm not quite as grey as he is, but I did grow a beard. I remember why it was too. It was a protest beard because do you remember Gillette brought out that horrible advert where they're basically slagging off white males. Yeah, that's a great business model, Gillette. Alienate your key customer base. And I grew a protest beard against it. It was a horrible advert. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was disgusting. And yeah, I mean, I could run you through it, but it's basically you're shown a series of scenes, which is all about socialists should do with sexism. It was not just sexism, of course, because all the bad guys are white and all the good guys are non-white, and I just thought it was just so disgusting. I went on I grew up a Gillette protest beard. I did it for about 3 months, and it was like really sort of big and bushy. I do have some photos. The photos are on Facebook if you want to see them. I don't like looking at myself with a beard though. So yeah. So Coda, thank you very much. Anyway, but yeah, Jeremy Corbyn. I don't know. I saw his brother on Monday actually because he was at the trial. Piers Corbyn, a great hero. He was at the trial of Richard D. Hall. Right, Bedouin 40. All right, Bedouin 40. Now, it's funny thing is that this video came up again, and I posted a link because, of course, it was quite recently the 50th anniversary of the Bedouin Mountains UFO incident, and we have here Judy McGee, who said, "Hi Ben, your friend with the funny winter hat looks just like that alien character in MIB3, the one with the same style winter hat." Oh, Judy, you mean Colin? All right, well, I'll tell him that. I mean, I've not watched this film actually. I didn't like the first Men in Black movie. I thought it was just taking the Mickey out of what's actually a very serious phenomenon, and it was trivialising it, and I think was misleading about the real Men in Black, which of course is something real. So yeah, I mean, I'll tell Colin. I'm sure he'll be very amused. He may know what you're talking about. You know, he still has that hat, by the way, the deerstalker. He still has it 10 years later. Bedouin 40 again. Judy McGee. The reason some ufologists become quiet and withdrawn and hide is because they've received death threats. All right. I don't remember this subject, Judy, because this video was 10 years old. But yeah, I mean, some people do. I mean, some people are horrible. I mean, we had Terry Joyce commenting earlier on. She's been really treated badly, and she's such a sweet lady, and she really is. And she's just been they've just these horrible people have just been going for her, and it's just really nasty. And it's yeah. And I'm totally against that, of course. I mean, I myself have received all kinds of threats and abuse, but I'm a big, ugly ex-hospital porter. You know, but people far less robust than me have been attacked in this way, and they're people who've committed suicide because of online abuse. Yeah, and in the ufology, unfortunately, UFO Twitter. I mean, you hear people moaning about UFO Twitter. You know, I mean, in fact, what was it? Ross Coulthart says it's puerile. It is utterly puerile the way these puerile people do these horrible things, and I was disgusted when I looked at it. And I think the reason David Grush actually deactivated all his social media was for that reason, because Coulthart probably advised him to. Probably advised him to. Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, you go to UFO Twitter now, and people, it never used to be like that. UFO Twitter used to be a wonderful, it was like a community where people exchange ideas, and now if you disagree with someone beyond a certain level, they'll launch into an attack against you. And of course, the reason this has all got kicked off, got worse, is because of the massive breakthroughs that have happened in the last couple of years. To the point where we're divided now because we've moved forward so much. Some people can't quite accept that, and so you get the backslappers are all sort of circle jerking around over the fact that Elizondo must be a shill, and all these other people must be shills. Gillibrand is a shill, and Tim Burchard is a shill, and everyone's a shill except me. And that's created a toxic atmosphere, a very, very toxic atmosphere. And I said for some people, it's unbearable. And it's and I found it difficult to deal with some of the things. The unprovoked attacks against me a couple of years ago, 2018 was particularly bad. I won't go into details, Judy, but I made videos about it at the time. You can watch them if you like. Betterman40, Judy McGee says, you were right about that nurse being blackmailed. Dr. Stephen Greer was offered $2 billion to keep quiet about it. Oh, yes. Now, Greer, I'm afraid I'm not that trustworthy of Greer. I don't take his word for that. But it wouldn't surprise me, if Greer had been bribed, or there's an attempt to bribe him. Now, Pat Evans and her daughter, I think there is a lot more evidence, because they did a couple of documentaries. I remember they did a couple of documentaries long ago. And there was a couple of videos, a couple of TV programs in the 80s made about this, where they were interviewed, and then they went completely quiet and they moved abroad, which was, I thought, peculiar, seeing as Pat Evans lived in Llanderfel, and she'd actually driven up on the same route that Colin and I did. We drove back up to the pass through the Bedouins, where she saw the glowing orb. She thought there might be a plane crash, and she wanted to help. And she saw the glowing orb. And then that's what she described. Then now she's gone quiet. You want to try and contact her now? I don't even know if she's still alive. But for years after that documentary, and after she disappeared, people were trying to contact her, and she wouldn't return their calls. She wouldn't reply to letters, nothing. And so a lot of people suspected that Pat Evans was paid off. And I don't discount the possibility that Greer is telling the truth when he talks about how he was offered $2 billion to keep $2 billion to keep quiet. Yeah, they do. They have more money than sense, and they'll pay. If people are open to bribery, and some people are, they will pay them just to shut their mouths. Yeah, Betterman40 again, and Judy McGee. Also, when you say that some ufologists can't be trusted or are suppressing the truth, it means they accepted the bribe. Yeah, I think in some cases, Judy, yes. There's other reasons as well why I don't trust some of them. I think some of them are egotistical. Some of them are deceptive. Some of them are fooling themselves. Some of them have suffered from failures of nerve or failures of the imagination. I don't trust them either. For example, I don't think anyone's paid John Hanson anything. I think I think the guy's just a dickhead, basically. And he's angry because things don't go his way, and he thinks it's easy to blame me. And now he's too up his own arse to apologise, because when he realises he's got it all wrong. I don't think anyone's paid John Hanson anything. Even though, of course, he knew the Queen and Prince Philip, and they read his books. A lot of people have made a big deal out of that. I haven't. Some did. Some, though, I think are paid to talk nonsense. There's certain individuals come to mind. The amount they lie, the amount of deception which they are spouting, which they must know is false, because they're too with it and intelligent not to know it. Especially about this particular case. Naming no names, I think have to ask myself, why are they doing this? Why are they lying so much? Anyway, Judy, thank you very much for those very, very good comments and questions on this 10-year-old video on the 50th anniversary of the Bedouin Mountains UFO incident. Oh, it's really weird, Judy. I was just talking about the 2018 and all the shit that was hurled in my way in those days. That really was some of the most horrible abuse I've ever had. And the video fake defamation. I've just had a comment on fake defamation right above yours on the list, which is one of the videos relating to that. Can you believe that? Yeah, just watch fake defamation. Fake defamation. It's a 2018 video, so check that out. Okay, we have Callens TV, who said on fake defamation on the video, fake defamation. Did you dispute it? I've just got a couple. Yes, I did dispute it, and also I tried to get the video, the original video, which was yeeted by YouTube because of a stupid accusation which they didn't bother to confirm or deny. I tried to get it restored to full visibility, and I couldn't. However, as I said, it's all over Alt Tech, and also I'll share it with people if they want. I'll share it privately with people. I've got a copy of it, so you can never completely censor things on the internet nowadays. You can make them harder to find, but you can't censor them, which is good. Okay, we have Coda again. We have our Unwinisa phone. It's talking more Unwinese here on replying to comments 89. Oh dear, Ben Loader. Oh, hang on, I've come to the end of an hour, so it's the alarm's gonna go off in a minute. In fact, it'll go off now. I'll just stop it actually now. Okay, anyway, so that is the end of hour number 1. Okay, all right, guys. We are on hour number 2 of the 90th reply to comments video, the big 90. And so we were just going into our resident Unwinisa phone. Coda 834. Oh dear, Ben Loader, you all butcher it and snarly up my wordings. Deep folly. Now repeat after me in your own spacey tie load. Hospitoled Portaloo, pridely dignifol, epoxy most of the New World ordage, kicking them up the bocus. We will be having none of that here, oh no. Now scribble load it 100 tie load on the black ball over there. Deep joy. Well, unfortunately, Coda, you must excuse me, I have yet to complete my Unwinese course on Duolingo. When I have done so, I will be able to converse with you in your own vernacular. And that of the late Mr. Unwin. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I've got to... Where am I now? Am I not reached the top yet? No, I haven't reached the top. Okay, we now are on Meadows Revisited. Rhiannon Raven. The first. Well done, Rhiannon. Gold tinfoil hat is on its way to you now. And then Gary Robinson says here, Meadows Revisited. I've not thought about The Prestige for a long time, long time. I must really rewatch it. I actually saw it at the movies and thought it was very good. I also really like Revolutionary Road, as I'm into heavy-going drama. Interestingly enough, Kate Winslet's husband, who directed Revolutionary Road, ran off with Rebecca Hall from The Prestige. Rumour has it that Kate used her influence to shut down Rebecca Hall's acting career in Revenge, which could be true as she suddenly stopped landing film work. Oh, Gary, you've got all the insider gossip. I mean, Empire magazine should hire you as an investigative journalist. Yeah, The Prestige. As I said, this is Christopher Nolan's equivalent of, the Lady in the Water for M. Night Shyamalan, and there's other examples for other directors. The film that everyone forgets that they make, which I think is underrated. I think it's excellent. Please do rewatch it. It is actually a freebie on Amazon Prime right now, I believe, and several other places. And of course, it has proliferated into various spots. I think it's very underrated. I think it's very good. Revolutionary Road. Well, you can't. I don't think you can fault the acting and everything like that. It's very well done. It's set in the 1950s, and it's a well-constructed technical period piece. But it is extremely depressing. I found it very, very depressing. The storyline, you must admit, the storyline is not like to have people rolling in the aisles, is it? A heavy-going drama is good, but this is melancholy. It's deeply melancholy. And it's the climax is as tragic as I was expecting it to be. But as for the Kate Winslet's husband, which Kate Winslet has always had a bit of a turbulent kind of typical Hollywood love romance history, hasn't she? Her husband left with Rebecca. Kate destroyed Rebecca in Revenge. Oh God, I don't know. I like to think Kate Winslet is a nice person because she's, I don't know, I'm wishful thinking because she's very attractive, and I thought she was very good. I mean, like I said, I've mentioned before. I mentioned in my deconversion course video that she was in this really good film called Holy Smoke, which I hated when I first watched it because I thought it was feminist propaganda. When I watched it a second time, I really liked it. And she gets her kit off in it as well. That's another advantage. I must admit that is an extra attraction, I must say. Gary Robertson says in Meadows Revisited, Ben Kingsley's best character today is Don Logan from The Sexy Beast, for which he won an Oscar back when the Oscars were still relevant. Yeah, the Oscars are no longer relevant, are they? Which is why they had to stage that stupid altercation between Will Smith and what's his name, Chris Rock or whatever it was. Yeah, but yeah, he's been a lot of really. He seems to have a lot of variety. Ben Kingsley. And I think he was, like I said, he can play bad guys really well. I mean, I didn't think you could ever play a bad guy because he plays this really benevolent kind of, in Gandhi. He's this really benevolent. Gandhi is very much a hagiography. That's David Lean's biopic. It's a bit of a hagiography for Mahatma Gandhi. He was actually a much more complex figure than we've been led to believe. This doesn't mean I demonise him the way some people do. History has a habit of making angels and demons out of people, and when Gandhi turned out not to be an angel, a lot of people then said, well, he must be a demon. The fact is, he's neither. He's a perfectly mortal, flawed individual, like we all are. But then he goes on and plays this evil character in that Trans-Siberian. If you've not seen Trans-Siberian, Roy, and because Roy says here, I have to agree about Don Logan. If you've not seen Trans-Siberian, please do watch it. It's really excellent. I think what's good about Trans-Siberian is it's a really good. It's set on the Trans-Siberian Express, where there's this very naive American couple. What's the name of the actress who plays the actress who plays the wife is quite famous. Her husband, it's not. Her husband was played by, was it Woody Harrelson? I think it's Woody Harrelson plays the husband, and then the I can't remember the name of the very posh English actress who plays the wife. But anyway, there's this naive American couple who are on this train across the cold. It's in the winter in Russia, and it's really cold. And there's this policeman played by Ben Kingsley gets on, and he says, and he's lamenting the death of the Soviet Union. In the Soviet era, we were living in the dark, but now we are dying in the light. Nostravia, because with vodka. What I like about Trans-Siberian is there's these two bad guys. Well, there's this young couple who are also they play the bad guys, and there's the man and the woman are both really nasty people. You think the woman is good. There's a very disturbing scene where she's being tortured by Ben Kingsley and by Ben Kingsley's character, and I hate it because this young woman looks very much like my daughter, which I found very disturbing. And her partner, is the bad guy. It's a very, very good portrayal of psychopathy. Very well done. Trans-Siberian, please do watch it if you get the chance. Meadows Revisited, Michael Snow says, maybe the book at 26 minutes is about the early Apollo incident where some astronauts died in a fire. Yeah, Chris Hadfield's book. I mean, I can't imagine a guy who commanded the ISS would ever write a conspiratorial story about Apollo. That I just can't believe. But I won't know, I think, until I've at least read it or read a synopsis of it. Yeah. Helen Duncan, the most dangerous psychic in the world. Oh, this is actually one of my most popular videos. It's had over 1 million views. It's really, really a big one, and I'm very pleased. I mean, it was quite bad. I mean, it was basically me with a handheld camera. If I'd made it today, I would have made it better. And I've done studio versions of this this whole video, but in fact, I've adapted it kind of into a studio version. But this is where I visited the locations, the scenes of where everything happened. But we've got here someone called TS1267. Spaghetti-O, no tar. Right, I don't know what that refers. Sorry, TS, I don't know what that refers to. Sorry. Is there some? Do I mention spaghetti somewhere in it? All right, if you have to be more specific. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Video band 7, and this is Quilly1, says CWLI1, says, I heard that Brandon Kavanagh got an email from a Chinese official asking him to delete his video. It's been seen by folks globally now, has he? He was playing a piano in the middle of, where was it, in that station or something. And these stupid Chinese gits walk past and say, we don't like you playing that piano. You stop playing that piano now. And he says, no, I'm allowed to play a piano here. I mean, I haven't looked into this in detail. Then the police come along and they take the side of the bloody Chinese tourists. How dare they? That's disgusting, isn't it? Yeah. But he got an email from a Chinese official asking him to delete his video. Yeah, well, he refused, didn't he? He's been very, very defiant as Brendan Kavanagh, yes. Now, I don't remember all the details of this, but I think it's pretty horrible that they just told him to London piano player, interrupted by these Chinese people telling him to stop. And the bloody cops came along and they took the Chinese tourist's side. They always do, don't they? They always do. Disgusting. Meadows Revisited. Hello, my name's Michael Caine. Yes, it says Israel Diego Rivera to the genius, to the real genius. Yes, my name's Michael Caine. Yes, not a lot of people know that Diego Rivera, do they? Meadows Revisited. Your grandmother went out with Gandhi. Well, she had a dinner with him. He invited her to the dinner in a restaurant, and so she had dinner with this guy. She was work for a while. She worked at the same cinema my mum did. Yeah. But Ben Kingsley. This was years ago. This was 1980 something. Back when I was a kid. Meadows Revisited. We now have Roy Bland, who says here, thousands of years before people can move back to the Fukushima area. That's just not true. People are already moving back. It'll be about 30 to 40 years before the Fukushima Daiichi power plant is fully decommissioned. It takes 20 to 30 years to decommission any nuclear power plant, accident or not. There's tours of the plant, etc. Visit the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, a bus tour of the site. With the TEPCO staff, currently workers and visitors can access 96% of the plant and grounds. The TEPCO Decommissioning Archive Centre and the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant are very popular tourist destinations. Some friends of Matthew Williams, exploring with the fighters, went there on their own and explored the area. All right. Well, point taken, Roy. But I thought it was like Chernobyl, because you probably realise that no one can live in the Chernobyl disaster zone. Not for, I think, quite a few miles away. The area around it, goes out for 3 or 4 miles, and you can't go in there. Certainly, you can go in there to visit, but you can't live there. The town where Chernobyl was is now a ghost town. As for Matthew Williams, I'm surprised he didn't go himself, because he loves the thrill of breaking into some disused property, and sort of says, "Oh, I'm being very, very adventurous. Urbexing. I'm urbexing now. I'm urbexing the Fukushima nuclear radioactive power plant, and if I come back and I'm glowing in the dark, well, you'll know why, won't you?" Yes, sir, that's it. Right. Okay. Crazy Plain Lady update. I'll tell you what, we're about 3/4 of the way through the YouTube comments now. Could this actually be under 2 hours? Surely not. I've got to do BitShoot, Odyssey, and Rumble, and TikTok as well. ZXR Alien Warrior, who is Tino, Deputy Director or Assistant Director of Capel Green. He's there. Crazy Plain Lady update. Nice one, Benny. You may remember Tino. Tino's been in my videos loads of times, because we've done loads of collaborations, including the tour of Rendlesham Forest with Larry Warren. That was a good one. 2017. That was excellent. That was, as you may notice, there seems to be a lack of since I did the last comments reply video. In fact, for this whole year, I surprised myself when I haven't done any actual UFO videos, have I? I haven't done a UFO disclosure video for this year so far. And you know what? The reason is, I think in a way I'm losing interest a bit, because it seems to have stagnated again. I mean, I'd love to know more about. I mean, this doesn't have to be permanent. This can change, but so far, I mean, we hear a lot about whistleblowers coming out. They haven't come out yet. I think when that happens, I will regain my interest in the subject. Right now, it's just like, ooh. It's just like, oh, I can't listen to more people going on about, oh, Elizondo's a shell, all that bollocks. I want to know. I want Ross Coulthart. I'd love Ross Coulthart to say a little bit more about what he said about before. Because I've read his book. I've reviewed his book for the UFO Truth magazine. I was going to interview the guy, but he ghosted me because he obviously thinks I'm too crazy. So the interview with him fell through. Well, he may change his mind. You never know. I think events are going to change his mind. Upcoming events, but why can't he just say more? He says, I know these things, but I can't tell you. They call him Blue. They don't call him Blue Balls Coulthart for nothing, do they? Well, I'll tell you something, but I shouldn't really say too much. But I know this, but I can't tell you the details. But these UFOs that crash, and then they're taken away by the government. Yeah. What about them? Well, what if some of these craft are so big that they can't be taken away by the government, and then what they have to do is they have to build a building on top of them, and I know where one of them is, and I'm not going to tell you. I was going to tell you that it's the big round building in Douglas Harbour on the Isle of Man, but sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Please delete this part of the video. All right. Anyway, so I will probably get my interest back in it. It's just I will, it's just at the moment UFO Twitter and the whole UAP community just kind of. I haven't even watched Ryan Robbins' UFO Post-Disclosure World because they're just kind of going over and over the same material right now, which is why I haven't actually done a UFO disclosure video this year yet. Right, crazy. This is Crazy Plane Lady update. And Rhiannon Raven, who says here, some women will do anything for attention. Just look at her website and her social media. Always look at what someone's motivation is, what makes them tick, and why they do something, not just what they do. Yeah, I mean, and I ask underneath, true, but is Tiffany one of them, I ask underneath here. Because I do, and Rhiannon says, yes, she is, Ben. All right. But she clearly wants to exploit this. However, I don't think that doesn't explain everything that happened to her or why she's doing everything she's doing. There's still some mysteries associated with this, which is what I'm interested in. Obviously, like she is the sort of person who I think wants attention. She's taken the phrase viral personality off her website, but clearly that's what she wants to be. She understands the gold mine that comes from social media infamy. And Donna Wellham says underneath here, I like your t-shirt, Ben. Where did you get it from, please? All right, it's from this thing called Truth Shirts. I think it's called Truth Shirts. I wonder if I can find it. This was actually given to me by Tino, ZX Alien Warrior. Truth T-shirts. Yeah. Oh dear, I mean I can't. What's the brand? I'll tell you what. Look, I'll turn around and I'll just show you the back of it, and you can see it on the back there. Actually, maybe I'll just show you one of the other. Oh, the other one's gone. Can you see it on the back there? Can you see the brand on the back? Can you see that there? That's where you get it. I mean, you could just Google chemtrails T-shirts and you'll probably find it. But it's good. There are women's as well as men's. And I've got several of these, but these were given to me because Tina was chucking a load out, so he asked if I wanted any, and I said, yeah, I'll have them all. So he gave me about 4 or 5 of them. Yeah. But anyway, Frog Scotch 420 says here, Tiffany Dover and Tiffany Gomez, are they the same Tiffany's? Who's Tiffany Dover? I don't know who Tiffany Dover is. Let's have a look. So Tiffany Dover. Conspiracy theorist what made Tiffany Dover into an anti-what? NBC News. It doesn't look like her. Conspiracy theorist made Tiffany Dover into an anti-V-word icon. She's finally ready to talk about it. The Tennessee nurse stayed quiet in hopes that her silence would quit quiet false claims of her death. Oh, she's the one, yeah. She's the one who sort of she had. I remember now, yes. Frog Scotch. They did this thing. This was a promotional tour. They were doing a promotional tour for the V Word, and so they got this nurse to come and say she's going to take the V Word publicly on TV in front of everyone. So she takes it, and then she stands up to do a little speech, and she starts, and suddenly she stops talking and she keels over onto the floor. And then there was rumours that she died, and it turns out then, according to this, she hasn't died. I hadn't heard of her since then. Yeah, if it's the same one though. Anyway, David Splendid Isolation says it's likely. This is talking about Tiffany. The levels, but it's to answer your question, Frog Scotch, it's not the same person. The levels of mental illness today are off the charts. It's well over 90% that this is the ordinary explanation. I don't think so, David. I mean, we have discussed this before. I think there's more going on, but I think there's a lot more going on here. But clearly, I mean, she is someone I don't think I'd trust. She does sound unstable generally. It's not, though, the fact she had a meltdown on the plane. It's the fact that she didn't do her usual thing, just hurl abuse at the passengers and drop her trousers, like that other bitch did on this other plane. Oh, you know, it's what she said. I'm telling you right now, that person sitting there is not real. And then she said the plane would crash because of this person on there. Anyway, Diego Rivera, Genius 2, the real genius, says, real question is, do you fancy her? Is that the real question, is it, Diego Rivera? Do you fancy her? And anyway, Rich Horden said, would. Dark Corner says, I think she's very attractive. And Gary Robinson says to Dark Corners, she's a very typical Texan white girl. That's one good thing about about Texas, in that most of the women are very beautiful and stylish, a whole lot different, on a whole different level to the UK. Of course, Gary Robinson lives near there. Yeah. Do I fancy her? No. I mean, this may surprise you, because I know she's the kind of woman men are supposed to fancy, and I'm sure a lot of them do. She has like classic good looks, but believe it, I'm saying to you truly, honestly, I don't find her attractive. I think I can see she's good looking, but to me, I think that's a very superficial kind of response on my part. It's very different to saying I'm attractive. I tend to sort of there's usually something more to them. I think if they're attractive, I think there's something more to them. I mean, there's women I do fancy, and the reason I fancy them is they're like. It's hard to describe, but it's something deeper and more substantial about them. And you may think I'm just being silly, and that's a silly kind of new age or sort of new manish sort of thing to say, but it's not. It's not. Believe it or not, personality is a factor when it comes to attraction for me at least, and for many other men. Believe it or not. This doesn't mean I don't admire a pretty face. I do, but the pretty face has to have something behind it, otherwise it's just a mask. And I get a sense of falseness from her, especially when she's got all her makeup on. She's actually better looking when she was on the plane yelling at people, because she wasn't all done up. She's also I think younger than, I mean, believe it or not, I know I'm different from most men here, but she's also too young for me, I'd say. Even though she's actually not much younger than me, I'd say I prefer women my own age or slightly older. And again, that makes me unusual among men, but that's the way I am. And her behaviour, I mean, if leave aside everything else, her behaviour, especially when she's like swearing at the security staff and the police and things like that, that's, to me, that's just downright skankish. That's like some spoiled slapper just having a tantrum. Why would I want anything to do with someone like that? And I think Rihanna, of course, is another woman, can probably see through her more than we are. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't believe she's. I think I'm more likely to believe that she saw something truly anomaly, more so than Rihanna is. But yeah, she is looking for attention, and she's someone I don't consider sincere. The only reason I believe is it's her behaviour that indicates that she's seeing something real, not just she's telling a story. Right, a Crazy Play Lady update. Spaceman says she's not one of them LA Alien Crisis actors, is she? Yeah, an alien crisis actor. I saw aliens employ humans to do crisis acting. So when, when the space shuttle crashes on an alien planet, and they have their own Roswell, and they put the humans in the freezer, and then they put out fake ones. Oh. Donna Wellham says, "I hope your weekend went good, Ben." Thanks, Donna. I hope yours did as well. Seth Aaron Fletcher says here, "I don't have a TikTok account, Ben, and I don't want one. Sorry, I prefer the longer videos. I don't have a short attention span. Anyway, got to go. It's time for the gas spanner." All right. Well, thanks for tuning into the gas spanner, Seth Aaron Fletcher. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to watch the TikTok videos. I think you might enjoy them. I mean, the ones I make are like shorter versions of the ones, and I often cover subjects I don't cover on the other channels. So yeah, but it's up to you. And Donald Williams says, "I don't use TikTok, Ben, either. Just see short clips online." So you don't need an account to watch the videos, Seth and Donna. You don't need an account to watch the videos. You can just click the links and go there, or go to my channel and watch them. Anyone can watch them, just like you do on YouTube. Same video, Cat Daddy Man says it's a rabbit with antlers, not a sheep, otherwise known as a jackalope. Oh, right! The jackalope, of course. Nick Redfern was always going about that jackalope. Nick Redfern did this talk, this interview on, I think, what was it? I think it was the Paracast, and he was going on about the jackalope that was seen. And there's an episode of the X-Files with the jackalope in, But that was the thing that was on the plane. Yeah, that was a really good picture. That a lovely, like a chalk drawing of I don't know if it was AI, but it was. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Same video, Jam Noise 72 just has some laughing emojis. Glad you enjoyed that, Jackie. And Gary says, "Yeah, I'm trying to post a comment, but it keeps being deleted." Yeah, I'm sorry about Jackie. Gary, I have no idea why that is. I really have no idea. Alan McBride says on Crazy Plane Lady Update, "Thanks, Ben, for the good show." You're welcome, Alan. Frogscotch says on the same video, "The worst flight I ever had was coming back from southern Turkey to Scotland." Well, that's culture shock, if nothing else, Frogscotch. A woman sang Flower of Scotland at the top of her lungs all the way for hours. She was shouted at by parents and children trying to sleep, shook by public and told to shut up, told off by the staff. She was arrested at Glasgow. Some people take a drug such as Valium because they're so scared of flying, and it affects them with hallucinations if they're not used to using sedatives. Oh, blimey. Oh, blimey, you can imagine just someone singing non-stop on a bleeding plane. All the way from Turkey to Scotland. Oh, God, that's got to be, like a 4-hour, 5-hour flight? Oh, God, grief. And it's night time too. Were they trying to? Was it like a red-eye flight, and they were trying to sleep? Oh, could you believe that? Oh, honestly, man. I mean, obviously, that's not dangerous or harmful or violent, but honestly, just singing non-stop. Maybe it was something she was taking. Yeah, I mean, you are allowed to take some drugs on planes, medical drugs, and sometimes they have like side effects. But that was a nightmare flight, mate. Yeah, it really was. Same video, Frogscotch. What is the voicemail issue you mentioned, Ben? Oh, right, Frogscotch. It is called a Twitter voicemail. Let me just find you the. Here we go. Here we are. It's this video here. I think that's the only video I made of it, isn't it? Yeah, it's this one. Just have a look at this. It's this one here. Cold case Twitter voicemail from 27th of October last year. And that's what I was referring to. So check that out. If you watch that video, it'll explain everything. It'll explain the whole thing. Crazy Plane Lady update. We have Yarlanzi, who says here, "You mentioned Bluebeam. Could it be some kind of holographic technology? Wasn't this used recently in the UK with a hologram of the Queen in her carriage? Also, we have pop star holograms in concert and street advertising too." I can't see how that could be used in a on the inside of an airliner cabin. I don't see how that could be projected. Yes, I mean Yes, in the UK we've had holograms. I've seen them. There's holograms, of course, as you say, on street advertising, in theatres. even people who are dead, like Michael Jackson, they show them dancing on the stage, and it looks so real. But I don't think that was Bluebeam. No, I don't see how that could be projected inside the cabin of an aeroplane. And why would it be? Why would they do that on the inside of a plane? But I do take Bluebeam seriously. I really do. Wayne Model Builder says on Crazy Plane Lady Update, in my opinion, any woman who is as hot as that can do whatever they like, especially if it's to me. Wayne Model... Oh, dear. See, Wayne, I think she knows that she has that effect on most men. And I think that's why she's a little bit entitled, in my view. Yeah. But there you go. Gary Robinson said, I think this interview is AI generated. I left a full comment on BitChute. And I said, I see. Sorry you're having YouTube troubles, I said to him. Ellis Taylor. Oh, I knew Ellis would have an interest in this. How are you, Ellis? I hope you're all right, mate. It is odd, mate. She saw something happen on that plane that frightened the living daylights out of her. What she said at the time happened. She has clearly been frightened into what she says here, but is still traumatised by the plane incident, so she cannot believe what's coming out of her own mouth. Hence the body language. Well done for this update, Ben. I wasn't aware of it. Thanks, Ellis. I mean, I'm meeting you in a couple of weeks, and I was going to bring it up. I already planned to discuss it with you, because Ellis and I are meeting in real life shortly. And, we can still do that. We can still discuss it. I was going to bring it up with you. I had plans to do that. Right, Crazy Plane Lady update. And we have here the Crafty Nihilist, who says, thanks, Ben. I felt she was being honest from the start. Nobody is that freaked out over earpods. Not sure... Yeah, I know. Not sure screaming like a nutter on a plane is the attention of a real estate person wants. No. That's it. I mean, she's like a marketing executive or something. Gary says in reply to Crafty, I'm amazed she was allowed onto another flight. Yeah. She says almost as an afterthought on this interview, oh, I've been banned from American Airlines. Yeah. After how long? After like months? Yeah, she did another flight, didn't she, to California? I mean, that was when she had that TMZ interview. They sort of caught up with her in the airport, apparently, although she had all her makeup on. And that there was that sort of like... There was like that doorstep interview with her. But she'd just flown from Florida. I mean, I'm surprised she wasn't on the bloody no-fly list after all that. But she is banned from American now, yeah. Gary says, I'm amazed she was allowed onto another flight. Many years ago, I was heading back to the UK from Texas. On the outward journey from the UK, my suitcase had its wheels snapped off in transit. And when I came to the check-in for my flight home, the lady at the check-in desk complained about having to handle the case because of the sharp bits of broken plastic. Bloody hell, Gary. I mean, honestly. I mean, it's really annoying, especially if you've got like a really big suitcase and the wheels come off. Because those wheels are absolute godsend for a large luggage. And she complained about the sharp bits of plastic. And Gary says, being a big-mouth 20-something, I told her that it was the fault of her airline that my suitcase didn't have any wheels and that maybe I was owed a new one. She snapped at me and told me that the suitcase wheels were considered decorative and therefore I have no grounds for compensation. Decorative? I'd say, imagine lugging some of these big heavy suitcases with no wheels. I turned to my wife-to-be and said something along the lines of I can't effing believe this. The check-in lady totally lost it and called over an armed police officer and told me that if I didn't behave, I would be removed from the airport. So essentially, all I did was complain that they broke my case, and then I swore whilst talking to my other half and was taken away in handcuffs. With that in mind, how is it possible they let this girl onto another plane after her meltdown? Yeah. Well, Gary, I can't help noticing that your reaction, which is I think righteous indignation there, was rather milder than hers. You didn't get on the plane and then stand up and start strutting up and down saying, my suitcase is not real, or anything like that, and so having the flight bloody cancelled. Yeah. UFO congressional hearing live stream. Tor Engen. It's an old one, this. Flush and wash your hands. Of course, the flush water has enough water for wash up to the elbow. Right, I don't know what you're referring to there, sorry. Bernie Tucker. Ben, why was she flying economy if she was wealthy? It does not make sense. Oh, I don't know exactly Now, I don't know exactly where she was sitting. Now, on most planes, the posh seats tend to be at the front. I've noticed that. But it could be that on this particular plane they were at the back, because she's clearly moving from the back to the front of the aircraft. She actually tries to open the doors herself at the front, which, of course, is you can't do. It's very dangerous to do that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think she would fly economy. I mean, she's got this $1,900 designer handbag on her shoulder. I mean, why would she sit in the cheap seats next to the proles? So yeah, that doesn't make sense. But it could be, like I said, it could be that she was. It could be that on this particular aircraft, the posh seats are at the back. I don't know. Straw Person says on Crazy Plane Lady update, YouTube are actively stopping or slowing the comments section of certain channels. It's rife on yours, Ben. Marky Boy. Oh, you're Marky Boy, are you, Straw Person? Oh, right, sorry, I didn't realise you were the same person. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's now becoming obvious that, I mean, I know this rears up a lot of people when I bring this up, and I get a lot of pushback, but, you know, my channel seems to be marked for firstly having a reduced visibility, and also for basically thought crime. Yeah. Straw Person Marky Boy says here on Crazy Plane Lady update, I love crazy women. Do you? Oh God. Best I was not on that flight, as it would have been a green light for me. I would have been onto her like a tramp on a sandwich. Oh. do you think you're her type, man? I think she's probably quite fussy. If you are sort of like a millionaire with a six-pack, you know, and a fast car, you drive a Porsche or something, have a rock watch, then she may give you a second look, but nah. Well, if you are that person, good for you. I personally wish you luck with her. I think you are one of these. What was it, Stefan Molyneux said? You're one of these off ramps for the dumpster fires that come. These flaming dumpsters that come down the track towards us, and then they get drawn off the off ramps. He said, always credit the bad guys who take all the hot messes off your plate. Yeah. So I'll say thank you very much to you if that's the case. All joking aside, says Straw Person, Gary Robinson makes a good comment. We know how far these psychos are ahead of us in tech and weapon-wise. Or has AI gone sentient already? Or has CERN altered our reality? One thing for sure is things are really weird. Satanic brackets, question mark. And have been ramped up since March 2020. The gloves are off for sure, Marky Boy. Right, now I haven't actually read Gary's comment yet because he had to put it on BitChute, but I will get round to that because I'm nearly through the YouTube comments and we'll move on to BitChute shortly. But yeah, they are far ahead of us on tech and weapons. AI appears not to have been sentient yet. I've done an entire video about AI. It appears not to be sentient yet. This is a very complicated subject, though. It can never be proven whether something is sentient or not. It doesn't have the indicators of sentience. Has CERN altered our reality? Yeah, I mean, I think the Mandela effect may well be caused by that, and things are really weird and satanic, yes. It's been ramped up since March 2020. It has indeed. In fact, I think the C word, P word, you know what I'm talking about, was their backlash. It was their retaliatory strike against 2016. Reply to comments 89. Straw Person Marky Boy says here, back in the early days of Dead Enders, Kat was a sexy woman. My son looked like my son's mum looked like her. And I even had a Ford Capri 2.8 just like Alfie Moon drove. Time moves on, and my lad is now 18, and sadly my 2.8 is long gone. His mum and Kat have not fared well looks-wise. Lucky escape for me, Marky Boy. Yes, Kat, Jessie Wallace, the actress, I think she's very attractive. And her character, I very much liked her character. I thought she was very beautiful. And believe it or not, you know, it was partly her personality. She was the tart with the heart. And she had this, that was part of her allure, was she had this depth to her. She had this sense of principle, this compassion. And that's what I liked about her. You know, I mean, I think Alfie Moon, the character Alfie Moon, might have been put in there to test the waters about how well they'd done with demoralising people. and I think indicated that they had more work to be done, because Alfie was this kind of nice guy beta male who was he was an exception to the rule, because he was not materially successful, but he was liked by he was a likable person who the men respected and the women were attracted to, and he ended up, of course, dating Kat. Kat Slater, yeah, I don't know what she looks like now. I haven't seen her. I mean, this was years ago. This was years ago, quite early, when she was early in the series. Let's have a look at a picture of her. She must be, what, 50 now? Let's look at a picture of her. Jessie Wallace, actress. Oh, she's not bad. She's not bad at all. Yeah, she's not bad. That was her last year. She's 52. Yeah, very nice, I think. Very nice. Karen Jane Wallace is her actual name. Yeah, she's not bad, I'd say. I mean, I don't agree with you. I think she's still quite attractive, quite good looking. But yeah, well, anyway, sorry about the car. Those Ford Capris are pretty cool, aren't they? But anyway, I don't know what your ex-partner looks like, so I can't say for sure. But but I think she still looks like Kat Slater at her age, and she's very lucky. Ben Mates as Gary Robinson on Crazy Plain Lady Update. I saw an awesome French movie last night called Acide, A-C-I-D-E. Acide, Acide, I remember that song, which I guess is best described as a dystopian weather problem movie. I'm talking in safe code here, of course, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Yes, I do. The thing you're not the something you know what denier, yeah, or the you know what thing. So, French cinema is really a hidden gem. It's like French pop music. It's something that's very rare, not really exported very much, but it's really good. Gary says here, there have been a number of films and shows over the years that have addressed the issue of the world being supposedly either very cold or very hot, and I'm convinced they're always produced as part of the agenda. Yes, this movie tells the story of a father and daughter who are trying to survive the onslaught of lethal acid rainstorms. And when I say acid, I'm referring to the kind of acid that burns through metal. Oh my god! The resulting onslaught sees thousands of people becoming refugees as they struggle to go from one safe place to another as the cars and buildings are slowly eroded to dust. Despite the fact that this movie was most likely made to scare people into gluing themselves to the road in central London, it's actually a very good film. This has got me wondering if there's now a push to actually make agenda-driven movies and shows good, so they can maximise the brainwashing. Cheers. Possibly, Gary. If that's the case, that's probably a good sign, because it means they can no longer simply pander to the lowest common denominator. Which means that we could possibly see more pro-establishment, high-quality films. I mean, there are a few that I could mention. I mean, Gladiator, I think, is a good example of that. It is a very reactionary, or I say reactionary in the sense that I suppose it's very sort of jingoistic and in its historical sense, but it is an excellent film. It's an excellently made film. Brilliant acting, characterization, special effects, a lot. But I mean, it's totally and utterly it's totally in line what you might call the Illuminati themes of the day. In other words, the glory of Rome and things like that. Right, so 20. Oh wow, this is good. 2012 Mayan calendar 10th anniversary live stream. Right, this was something I made in 2022. Tor Engen says this. Tor Engen, you're going through my old videos, which is lovely. I love it when people do that. Not long ago, I listened to something related to the Mayan calendar, but it was not that I noticed. But the BP oil leakage in the Gulf of Mexico, since it refers to oil is warm and is heating up reservoir cold methane and could create bursts of methane from water is in the air. That could kill all life on Earth. That has happened before. So could this be the reason for the elite to create bunkers? Probably not. I mean, I'm going to do an entire video about this, but you may know that some of these elite bunkers in Hawaii are actually beachfront properties. So it looks like somebody has had a little word in the ear of the people buying them, Bezos, Zuckerberg and that, and said, "Look, guys, you don't actually have to worry about rising sea levels. That's just prol feed. That's just something we're like shoving down the throats of the masses. But you know, between you and me, right? It's not really a difference. And of course, the whole methane thing is related to climate change. Now, the thing is, methane is released from the water anyway. It's released from the seabed anyway in vast amounts because you get landslides and it comes up in massive clouds of bubbles. This could explain some of the ship disappearances in the area we call the Bermuda Triangle, because if you remember that pipeline burst in the Baltic, and they told ships to stay out of the area because the foam in the water actually has much less density, which means the ships would lose their buoyancy and they would sink. That actually happens on a vast scale regularly in the Bermuda Triangle. So you get massive clouds of gas bubbles in the air, and it's possible ships just suddenly go sink below the water before they can even send off a distress signal. So I don't take that seriously, but the leakage in the Gulf of Mexico, actually, I don't know, what effect would oil leaks have on the temperature of the water at a great depth? I don't understand that. So, I mean, Ian R. Crane used to talk about this a lot, I remember. Good old Ian, bless him. Right, TK UK, that's someone I haven't heard from for a while. Crazy Plain Lady update. TK says, something isn't right. You. Oh, the questions. Update us again. What sort of stupid bitchy comment is that, TK? That's just like, someone. I remember that when someone said, try this, Ben the JR wanker. And I thought, firstly, you would never say that to my face, and secondly, you're not making a point. You're just making a snide, insulting comment. So, TK UK, could you perhaps tell me what your point is if you wish this tell me what your point is, or I'm not going to continue this conversation. Thank you. Alright, so now we're going to move on to BitChute. Let's see what's on BitChute. Now, I know Gary Robertson has posted a comment on BitChute. So first I'll do the usual. I'll go to my channel page. Right, so reply to comments 89. Here we go, reply to comments 89. Discuss this video. No comments. Okay. COP26 live stream. Discuss this video. No comments. Right, this COP26. These were the re-uploads I talked about in the video banned. COP26 live stream results. Brackets banned on YouTube. It's had 40 views. Dark Corners UK. Hello, Dark Corners. I've just signed up to BitChute. I now follow you on all tech sites, just in case YouTube decides to yeet your channel. Thank you, Dark Corners. That's exactly what I want. That's great. Cheers. I'm glad you're here on BitChute. Right. Oxford Graffiti 6. No comments. Video ban 7. No comments. Meadows Revisited. Right, here we go. Okay. Right, this is the one. Dark Journalist says here. I don't think you're not Daniel List, are you, the Dark Journalist? No, I think so. Right, this is Prince Charles attempted murder versus Sai Baba UFO secrets. All right, I think I've seen this one. Yeah, I think I know who you are, Dark Journalist. This is on Rumble. Prince Charles attempted murder versus Sai Baba UFO secrets. All right, yes, you're covert fascist oligarchy. Yes, I know you on BitChute. Thank you very much. I've seen this video. Classified briefing. Congressman says UFOs may be of extra-dimensional angels. Yes. Please help me with the disclosure effort by researching and sharing these videos and montages. Thanks. There's some more links here. Veterans Today, Getter, The Intercept, Veterans Today, Rumble. All right, thank you very much. I think I've seen through some of these links already, Dark Journalist. But maybe you've got others. Right, now this is Gary's. This is the Death Beats, who is Gary's name on BitChute, and he says here, this is the video he couldn't post on YouTube for some reason. Ben, mate, I'm trying to post this on your Crazy Plain Lady video, but YouTube keeps deleting it, so here goes. Ben, mate, last year Doomcock posted... That's a good name, isn't it? Doomcock posted a video in which he explained that a Hollywood whistleblower told him AI was already being used to insert extras and backgrounds into films and TV shows. He claimed that, unlike traditional CGI, all AI visuals were indistinguishable from reality. I can well believe it, because I've already seen some AI reproductions of several scenes. There's an AI reproduction of a scene in Blade Runner, the Tears in Rain scene, and I can hardly tell it from the real thing. It's only when you compare the two you can see some differences. But if I was watching it stand alone, I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference. All right, here we go. He also mentioned that by using AI along with deepfake technology, that interviews like this could be created without the need for humans to stand in front of a camera. You have to wonder if the reason that she's so stiff in this video is because it's AI generated. That would also explain why it looks like her, but also doesn't look quite right. Also, make sure you check out the Blade Runner 2049. It's not a remake, it's a continuation of the first movie. Right, I think that's the one that might have been on the channel where I saw this other one. I have to say that seeing it in the theatres was quite an experience because of the incredible visuals, in which they went with themes of colour and light in contrast to the darkness of the first movie. The story could have been better considering Hampton Fancher had 35 years to come up with it, but it's still pretty epic. Cheers. Right. I mean, I don't like Blade... Alright, you say it's not a remake. Alright, if it's not a remake, maybe I'll watch it, because I don't like remakes, as you know. Blade Runner 2049, maybe I will watch, from what you said. I'll have a look at that. But yeah, I mean, could that interview with Tiffany Gomez be faked? Yes. What couldn't be fake nowadays, Gary? I mean, it's getting to the point where, like, especially in the world of paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, Nessie, I don't know what's real and what's not. I mean, these days, and if, as I said on the channel, if there's a massive cry wolf factor now, because even if something were real and you post it, who'd believe it? Definitely. Right. So, was that Meadows? What was that video I just reviewed? Was it this one? I think it was, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Right, so the next one is the Crazy Plane Lady update. There is something sort of like false and artificial about these images. But mind you, I mean, Tiffany herself, when she's made up, doesn't look very natural to me. Hugo Rune says, "Nice one, Ben." Thanks, Hugo. Thanks, glad you liked it. Oh, and Seat Warmer 747. Seat Warmer 747 says it's called a jackalope, part jack rabbit, part antelope. All right, thanks, Seat Warmer. Yeah, someone else explained that to me. And Grand Turismo said, "I don't care. She's crazy hot," with the emphasis on the crazy. Right, she's crazy, all right, Gran Turismo. But as I said earlier, I don't actually find her attractive. Which, again, a lot of people won't believe me when I say that, but I don't. I don't find her attractive. I'm just unusual in that respect, but that's just the way I am. Okay, so now we're going to go through the replies. We're going to go through the notifications, comment notifications, so I get some comments on older videos. Let's have a look. You go down like this, and I'm glad this happens, though. I really am. But I mean, I just think Ray was a bit silly. What the hell? Oh, this is the Brian Rue show. Oh right, this is just. I think this is someone else's video. The Brian Rue show. Yeah. Oh, Brian Rue's this Canadian guy who talks about UFOs a lot, and he says yes, thanks, Ben the JR Porter. All right, well, thanks. Because I said, someone's saying that UFOs are fake, and I said, no, UFOs are real, and Brian says, yes, thanks. It is true. Because they are real. I mean, they're not just a distraction. People say they're a distraction, they're not. I mean, there's something... a lot of the things that people think are distractions, in my view, are not. And the backslappers, you see, the backslappers kind of like, they think everything's a distraction. And so, when people say it's not, it gives them sort of like fodder to fill them, because they just like the feeling that they're better than everyone. It's a psyop until proven otherwise, man. Yeah, everyone's a shill except me and Andrew Johnson, man. It's a psyop, man. Can't you see it? If you were superior like me, you could see it, but you're not, man. You're naive. Do you like my backslapper voice? That's my backslapper voice. Alright, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay, so I'll go back to the top. I've had no comments on any old videos this week. Delete all. And that's it, right. So now we go on to Odyssey. Now, Odyssey, it's much simpler since I discovered how you can select notifications for comments only, because then I can simply go back to the last comment I made. And we have here, Sibian Dreams has commented again on Crazy Plain Lady Update. It always automatically plays, so I have to click pause there. And Sibian says, I love the dark ambient music used as an intro and outro. The reptilian backdrop could not be more apt. They are here and they are in charge. Oh, Sibian, yeah, thank you very much. I know, because your own channel is full of that kind of music, and I thought it was very good. It's by Doug Maxwell, I think his name was. Yeah, but I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you. And yeah, I chose that back. I always choose a good backdrop, and in fact, it's these comments reply videos are the only videos where I don't use some kind of black backdrop, which is in some way connected to the theme. Right, Meadows Revisited, and we have here Sibian Dreams again. All right, who says here? You referred to Chernobyl as an accident. Have you considered the possibility it wasn't an accident? Maybe. I mean, a lot of things that people say are accidents are not, so yeah. Both Western and Soviet experts seem to have agreed that there was always a high probability of the tragedy happening. They put this down to a combination of the reactor design and flawed operating guidelines which failed to anticipate the 1986 occurrence as a possibility. Such a combination of circumstances is said to have been made impossible with later Soviet reactor designs, and it is also impossible in Western reactors. Apparently, designing reactors where such a tragedy cannot occur isn't any great challenge for those in the field, and such know-how has been around since the inception of commercial nuclear reactors. Some of the plant operatives and managers who survived the disasters were prosecuted and imprisoned for negligence. Some survived long enough to be released and wrote books about the incident from their standpoint. Interestingly, those who designed the reactor and wrote the operating guidelines were never sanctioned, despite being whistleblown by other Soviet nuclear scientists. In particular, Nikolai Dolezhal, head of the design team, he lived to the age of 101 and was showered with Soviet awards. Well, Sibian, this is new information to me, but I'm always open to the possibility something might be staged, because things are sometimes, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. I've spoken many times about the accidents or terrorist attacks. Planes crashing into buildings, cars crashing in tunnels. Not accidents. And not the terrorism's caused by other things. Right, here we go. Keep going. But video band 7, and I'll just go down a bit further so I can know which one I'm on. And it's Sibian Dreams again. Oops, who says here?
Add the video band. I've had.
Pause. It's good to know that on Alt-Tech we get a superior product in the form of unabridged videos. You're not kidding me. Yes, that's putting it mildly. The globalists were only able to make their P-word narrative stick because they have a near monopoly on all forms of the media. Yes, precisely, Sibian Dreams. Sometimes I think one of the main reasons for the P-word was to test how watertight their control of the narrative would be. Who knows if they are satisfied with only 10% of people refusing the V-word? Maybe 90% compliance will be enough for them to achieve their targets in terms of Depop or whatever, but 10% is still a lot of suspicious and contrarian people to contend with. Yeah. I have no doubt that one of the activities that went on when the lockdown occurred was to monitor people's reactions. Absolutely, this was a test. I think it had a purpose as well. It was also an operation, not just an experiment. But it also, that was an experiment, yeah, from there. It was a social, psychological experiment, yeah, from their point of view. But obviously there's more to going on here, Sibian. There has to be, because there was this hard stop. Basically, in November 2021, suddenly it just went, that's it. And literally within 2 months, the whole thing was over. And not only was it over, but it was being forgotten by the mainstream media. It was being forgotten. It was just going down the memory hole. That is, you've got to wonder why that is. Sibian continues. People considering subscribing on BitChute should bear in mind that RT was taken off BitChute completely as soon as the conflict in Ukraine started, at the request of the authorities. So at the end of the day, BitChute will do whatever the British government tells it to do and allow itself to be censored. There are also many channels on BitChute unavailable in Europe and the UK, but available elsewhere, supposedly because they incite hatred, with obvious exceptions. It's not clear to me how most of these channels incite hatred in any of their content, even according to European law. Exactly who is at BitChute making decisions about what constitutes incitement to hatred, and what criteria are they using? Well, Sibian Dreams, this is not a decision that BitChute are making. When Ray decides to take things down at the request of the authorities or put them on limited visibility, it's not because he wants to do it. I think Ray is a decent guy. It's just that he has. Oh, the alarm's about to go off. Dingling. Okay, I've started, so I'll finish. So where was I? Yeah. But the problem is, as I've always said, I mean, that Ray had his offices in Newbury. If you remember my Newbury videos, in one of them I go and visit the office of BitChute. I go and visit it. Now, Ray himself is English, but he lives in Thailand. Why couldn't he have had the headquarters and servers in that country, or indeed in one of the other third world tigers? This would be as I said, being the home of free speech internet would be the perfect thing to boost the economy of one of the third world tigers. One of the, maybe Brazil or Nigeria or something like that. I mean, this would be the perfect thing for them. Why don't they do it? Why did Ray, his commitment to free speech was so great that he built this fortress and just left the drawbridge completely open by basing it in the UK? Of course, Ofcom are attacking it left, right and centre. Of course, I mean, there's so much that has been removed. I mean, and as you said, there are channels on BitChute that are available, but you can't see them in this country. Well, yeah, you can. I mean, the good news is because of VPNs, you can see them. And if you watch these channels through a VPN, they are visible, and the videos are visible. But you can't comment on them because you have to log in. If you log in, then basically people know where you are, and again, the censorship kicks in. But you can watch them. I mean, I always use the Tor browser. That's a very good. Way of. It's an excellent VPN for looking at content banned in the UK. So yeah, I mean, it's what Ray needs to do is he needs to get BitChute out of the UK. He needs to get it out. He needs to move it, because it's not his. He's not doing this through his own choice. He's doing this because he's been forced to by the government. So, but that I think is something that I think he's committed to. I mean, I do like Ray. I do. I'm just going to carry on filming, and I'm not going to have a break here. I'll just go on to the third hour. I'll just change the tag, and then but though I'm not going to bother using the timer because we're not going to be here for another hour. I don't think it's unlikely. So I'll just get rid of the timer. Okay, so that's. Well, thank you very much for that comment, Sibian Dreams, and all your comments on Odyssey. They've been very good. And we have here Sibian Dreams on visiting the Senedd. I've got a feeling we now reached the end of the Odyssey comments. And indeed, yes, I did reply to this comment on the last comments reply video. So that's Odyssey done. Now we go on to Rumble. So Rumble, what have we got here? Notifications, loading your notifications, show more, right. Okay, so we have here, somebody starts, I've got lots of people following my channel, which is nice. The X series, replied to comments 89, what does he say? Alright, this is the X series, who is a regular correspondent of mine on BitChute. So on Rumble. So what does he I think it's a he say here. Now with Rumble, of course, I have to use loads of random characters because Rumble only allows you to post the same comment once on the entire platform, not just on the same video, on the entire damn platform. The X Series says, "I'm sorry to sound harsh in this comment reply video, Ben." Oh, X Series, that's not like you. You've never sounded harsh before. Uneducated internet people like yourself do not understand the incredibly devastating multi-generational genotoxic effects caused by ionizing radiation. Oh, really, don't I? Uneducated internet people. Well, try me, X Series. UVC radiation is ionizing radiation, unlike UAVA or UVB, which are not ionizing radiation. You're wrong there. They're all ionizing. They're all electromagnetic. Yes, they are. What are you anyway? Are you advertising sun cream or something? You unintentionally misquoted me because of your lack of education. In reply to comments 89, at the 239.42 mark, I did not write UV radiation. I wrote UVC radiation. All right, Jonathan Ross. I didn't. This is anyway saying I unintentionally misquote you because of my lack of education. Well, maybe I just didn't actually see that. I mean, you don't have to be a high school dropout to just miss out the letter C, do you? Honestly, you. Anyway, the UVC radiation at ground level has nothing to do with the fake natural pole shift narrative, which is being spread by other uneducated internet people and controlled opposition operatives on the internet. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, it does actually. Series UV radiation. The UV radiation levels will rise in a pole shift situation. In fact, it's happening right now because we are in a pole shift. If you actually look at the actual way, the thing about it is, you see, because it's the effect of the particles on the atmosphere, because the Earth's atmosphere is the main block against UV radiation, especially the ozone layer, and this is degraded by increased solar and cosmic radiation caused by the breakdown of the temporary breakdown of the Van Allen belts and the ionosphere during the pole shift. It's not at the end of the world. I mean, there's no evidence that there are mass extinctions associated with pole shifts. There's nothing in the fossil record that shows that. But that's what does happen. The alpha and beta particles from the sun do that. So you're wrong. It is actually. Maybe I did misquote you, but I'm still disagreeing with you. And it's not a fake natural pole shift narrative. Please read and watch the attached YouTube videos from Epic Engineering and BP International YouTube channels and a website called UVC Rays of Sunlight. Alright, so let me just have a look at this. So what have we here? Paste and go. Alright then. Can you see this, guys?
Hey.
This is Epic Engineering. Oh, hang on.
Guys, this is Charles from Epic Engineering.
Charles. You've got too much hair to be Charles, and we can see your face.
June 27th, 2020. Just another sunny day in Guangzhou.
All right, this is somewhere in China. This is a Chinese guy here. All right, look, this is almost 4 minutes long. I'm gonna watch this later. All right. Deadly ultraviolet ray. All right, let's get rid of screen share for now. Deadly ultraviolet UVC and UVB penetration of Earth's surface, human environmental health. Alright, this is another video here. What's this one? Okay. Current perspectives to environment and climate change. This is by BP International. Alright, BP, British Petroleum. Edited by Dr. Huan Yu. Current perspectives on environment and climate change. I'm not going to. Again, this is like 2 minutes. Sorry, actually, I don't mean to like push you around, but I'm not going to watch that right now. All right, here's another one. Discussion on deadly radiation. Same title. Human environmental health impacts. And this is bookpi.org media promotion discussion. All right, and this is another website here. Let's have a look at this. What's this here? All right, this is from BP International. All right. Maybe it's not British Petroleum. It's something else. All right, and there's a video preview. Maybe that's what we saw. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to pause for a minute there because someone was calling me on Facebook, and I cut the call, and they just called me again. And they called me again, and they called me again. I have to check my settings so that people can't do that. That is annoying actually when people do that. You know, I click don't accept, so they just call me again. And I actually put a text in saying, sorry, I can't talk right now. They just call me again. If this person keeps going on, I'm going to have to block them. Anyway, it's not someone I know very well, so they got nerves. Someone I don't know very well, and they just, without even texting me to ask me first, they bloody call me on Facebook Messenger. That's annoying. Anyway, right, guys. So that's X series. Thank you for those comments, X series, and I'll check through the information you've had. But I think you're being unfair to me. I think you misunderstand me and you've misrepresented me here. But anyway, not to worry. Are we now? There we go. This is, and I think we've now. All right, this is the X series commenting on Storm Apocalypse. Right, I think I've actually replied to this. Is actually. Let's have a look. Yes. All right, I've actually replied to that comment in. That was actually how long ago was that? Yep, that was 20 days ago. So that I answered that in the last comments reply video. Right, so those are the only Rumble comments I got, because you do actually get notifications on Rumble now. It's just Rumble done. Now we go to TikTok. Now I've never done TikTok before, in terms of comments, but I thought I should do, because I've now uploaded 3 TikTok videos and I've had some comments. I should start dealing with them in this particular video, and here we are. Here are my TikTok videos. Hello, my name is Ben. That's the introduction. Have aliens invaded Miami? And I know I did a live stream about that too. And NDE smoking gun. So let's have a look at them. So this is hello, my name is Ben. And
Hospital Porter's pride and dignity stop the New World Order.
Right, let's press pause. David Morgan says, looking forward to your TikToks. Ben. Oh, thanks, Dave. And David, of course, is a good friend of mine. So, right, here we go. I've got to put something on my clipboard. For some reason, something's off my clipboard. Right. This is annoying. I can't cut and paste I can't cut and paste things. I can't cut and paste into TikTok comments, into TikTok replies. Look, this is annoying. I'm trying to reply to Dave here. Oh, now it's working. Right. Now it's working. Right, that's weird. And we have Issy Oakley Mums. Issy Oakley's mum says welcome. I know who that is, actually. Come on. What? Okay, something weird is... Now, come on. Why can't I cut and paste? This is weird. Now, see, it's not doing it. It did allow me to do it there, and it's not doing it here. I'll try refreshing, see if that helps. Oh, now it's on. Right, it's on. Here we go. Right, let's have a look. Issy Oakley's mum, reply. Let's see, maybe that'll work here. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'll just say thanks. I just have to write something out. Thanks. I'll reply in the next reply to comments video. I might have to do this on every single TikTok. I hope I don't have to do this on all the TikTok ones, because it worked there. You see, it worked before. Why doesn't it work this time? Okay, let's go to... I might as well stay on screen share. So, have aliens invaded Miami?
Conspiracies, government,
Okay, so Dark Corners UK. I can't. Okay, it's not working. Look, hey Ben, looking forward to more TikTok. Thanks. We'll reply on next reply to comments video. Dearie me. Right, okay. But thanks very much, Dark Corners. Looking forward to more TikTok content. And now we have Issy Oakley's mum again. Thanks, Ben. Much appreciate your synopsis of this topic. So much rubbish on the internet. Nice to get to the heart of it. Oh, you're very welcome. I'll just say you're welcome. Bloody hell. I hope I don't get lots of you're welcome. Full reply in next video. There we go. Next, I'll just put next. She might think I mean reply to comments. I shall make sure she may think I mean the next bloody TikTok video. There we go. Right, that's that done. And finally, NDE smoking gun.
Conspiracies go.
Oh, she names herself here. This is not doxing. This is me, Rachel Oakley. Oh, right. Excellent TikTok. I had an OBE and know 2 others that had NDEs. It's absolutely fascinating. And I'll say, thanks, Rachel. She's actually said who she is. This is not me. I'm not doxing her here. Thanks, Rachel. Full reply in next. Reply to comments video. I don't know why I can't cut and paste. I did cut and paste one comment, didn't I? And now I can't cut and paste any others. Anyway, that's TikTok done. Thanks. So that's it. Now that's all of them done. Now I'm just going to go back to YouTube and just check to see if I've had any comments since they have been posted while I've been filming this video. And then that's the end of the reply to comments video. So let's have a look. Ooh, let's have a look. Okay, so notifications. Well, we've got 2 hours. Yeah, oh, there's only one. There's Drubber. Drubber has replied here. Looking forward to it, mate. Thanks, Drubber. Glad you like that. Many thanks. Will be answered approximately. Here we are. And so I appreciate that, Drubber. So that's the end. That is the end of our 90, the big 90 in the reply to comments videos. Yes. Yes, we're done. Thank you, everyone who's left comments on this reply to comments for me to answer in the last couple of weeks. It's not been a long one. It's just over 2 hours for this particular reply to comments video. But thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's 2 hours, 2 hours 17 minutes. Obviously, it's self-explanatory. This video wouldn't happen if it hadn't been for your comments. So thank you very much. Even some of the rude ones have been quite amusing. So I've had fun with those. Next video coming up probably at the weekend. I don't know what it's going to be, but I've got some ideas. I'm also going to do I'm going to do more film reviews. There's a film in the cinema coming up called If. It's IF, capital I, capital F. It's something to do with imaginary friends. And it's coming soon in the cinema. So I will be doing a full review of that. Also, someone requested a live stream. Someone requested. It's funny, I haven't done any live streams since the last reply to comments, have I? I was just thinking. Someone requested a watch party for the film The Lighthouse. Now, it's a film I've not seen. So yeah, I mean, if you think I might like it and you think it's good, and of course I did cover the Lighthouse subject at the New Year, we'll do that. So whoever requested that, we will do the Lighthouse. Watch live stream review introduction watch party, the full trilogy. Interesting. This normally when I do these watch parties, it's films I've already seen. This is a film I have not seen, so we'll be going into it kind of like I'm going to be going into it fresh, which is interesting. So thank you all of you for watching this reply to comments video, the 90th one. Thank you for watching HPANWO TV generally. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order.
Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids, psyops, saucers and black triangles, HPANWO.